This is PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Trevor's tested waters help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Trevor's tested waters help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you eat.
Hey guys, it's me Travis with PlayerProps.ai, and this is what we're locking in for today's Monday MLB games. Now, technically, there's a game starting relatively shortly. For whatever reason, there's an 11:10 a.m. Eastern Time game, which I believe is airing on MLB Network for those that have access to it. We're not going to be touching that one because by the time we're done editing and popping this baby on YouTube, that game probably would already be started by now. So, quick recap. We finished last week, just like we finished the week before, on a nice, profitable win streak. I believe we did Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We had profit for the last 3 days of the week. For those that pay attention and listen to what I say, there was a play we had on Friday's show that was postponed due to weather because it was very snowy. That pitcher still played on the next game the team played, which was Saturday. And so if you still, even though your original bet got voided because it was postponed, if you still played over 4.5 strikeouts for Chase, then you would have also been profitable on Saturday. Sunday, we had a lot of NBA games again, some MLB games. Very upset about the Magic losing by, 16-something points against the Boston Celtics. If we do not figure out how to shoot more threes, that is going to be a sweep, and I'm going to be very, very angry. But yeah, so last week was profitable week. The week before that's profitable week. So we're trying to go 3 weeks in a row of creating a profitable situation for you guys. But just remember, the purpose of the show is to teach you how to use the app I built for you guys. So when it comes to Saturday or Sunday where there's no show, you just copy and paste everything I'm doing on each one of these episodes on the tool that you have on your phone or computer, and find the exact same kind of plays that I would find if I would do a show anyway. I kind of like this opening part of the show for the people that actually listen and don't fast forward and hop around, because I like to call this new segment the story time with Travis anyway. So if there's anything like slightly unrelated to MLB, to NBA, to sports betting in general, that's what this opening part is for. For the people that like actually story time before we hop into the grits and the gravy of the research. So I want to share something because it's been driving me crazy for the last 72 hours.
A few moments later.
This story's going to take too long. I just realized that this story's going to be way too long, and this is going to be a 30-minute video, so I changed my mind. So we're going to go ahead and just see what we find for today's MLB games. We do have some NBA playoff games today. We do have some NHL playoff games today. The Vegas Golden Knights did their job, one game won. The Lakers losing, and then the Rockets losing were the only two higher seeds that lost in the first games of the playoffs for NBA. But yeah, if you see the thing above me that says, remember, if you ever need help, just ask, that is not something to take lightly. That is a very, very serious thing, because there's a lot of people that are just guessing, thinking they know what they're doing, or just don't even care that they don't know what they're doing. While there's 16,000 people in our free-to-join Discord that is more than happy to help you out. You can DM me. You can't DM everybody else in my Discord. So I got 16,000 people. You can DM me. You can ask in our free channels any kind of questions you have for help. And all of us more than happy to help you. It's the most helpful sports betting Discord in the entire country, for a good reason, because nobody else is doing what we're doing. So let's go ahead and find something here today. We'll do what we do on every show. Minimum line 3, difference, I think we've been doing 17 lately. And ain't nobody fit that mold. That's interesting. So I just reset the filters. Out of all of the people here, no one has a 17 or higher % difference on either side. If you look at Eric, he's at 3.5 and his projection's at 5.05. It looks like Clark Schmidt's the closest to 1.0, but he's only 0.7. And the sports books favor the under. So yeah, like there isn't an overplay using that method. And then there shouldn't be an underplay either because you see the highest one is 16 here. And nobody's even got... Yeah. So this happens. You're not guaranteed to find something that is perfect to the trifecta every single day. We had a pretty good streak, though. Like I said, we've been profitable the last 3, technically 4 days, if you include Saturday. Yeah. You don't have to bet strikeouts every single day. You don't have to bet every single day. So because there's nothing here, there's nothing we're going to force for strikeouts. So let's just look at some other things. My next favorite stat to look at is hits, runs, RBIs. But I do want to check something on pitching outs real quick. Just want to see if there's anything here that we like. Right now I'm just thinking. So pitching outs, of course, if a pitcher records an out, that's an out. So 14.5 pitching outs line means he needs to get 15. 15 is a whole number because 15 is 5 innings pitch. So we're simply saying he's going to get 5 innings or more before he gets pulled. He's only had 1 game this season that he started, and he got 17. So he went beyond 5 full innings pitched. I think my Apple Watch I had like my hand here, my Apple Watch just had a little ding for notification that was right next to the mic. I don't know how loud that was in your ears, but I apologize. But yeah, so he typically, at the end of the season, he had 4 straight where he didn't hit 5 full innings pitched. But I don't know if that was just because it was winding down the season. They didn't want to destroy his arm, and so they want to give other people opportunities going into the playoffs, maybe. So let me see here. But yeah, if you excuse the last 4 games of the season when the team doesn't want to destroy the arm of one of their starters, this guy had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight games of getting 5 full innings or more. 10, 11, 12, 13 if you 13 games where he got 14 or more. So this game right here, 14 outs means he had 4.2 innings pitched. We've never done an outs this season for the show. This isn't a good difference. The sportsbooks are favoring the over. This isn't a good difference because it's not even a full 1.0 out, which is something I think we would want to look for. So I know I don't want to force it, but there's nothing that's, was it 0.6? 5. Let's look at Schwallenbacher's history. So he's pitched 1, 2, 3, 4 times this year. The first 3, 17.5 pitching outs means he needs to get 18, and 18 means he has to pitch 6 full innings. So against Toronto, he got pulled before he finished 6 full innings. Actually, before he finished 5 full innings, he had 4.2 innings pitched here. But he's known for typically going 6 innings or more, and he's versus St. Louis. So it's very important with outs to calculate in your head if it's a full inning. So 14.5 lines means the pitcher has to get 5 full innings. 5 full innings, which means he gets taken out when his team goes up in the 6th inning to pitch, he hits. 17.5 is a line that means they need 6 full innings. Why it's important is because you have to think of the psychological point of the manager. So let's say he's sucking and Clark Schmidt is sucking in the 5th inning. And he's got it's a tie game, maybe his team's down or up, who knows. He already given up a few runs. And it may make more sense to just leave him out there to get 1 more out and complete 5 innings instead of just putting a pitcher out there for one at bat and then having them rest while their team's up to bat. I don't know if this makes sense when I'm saying it out loud or if I'm explaining it accurately, but the whole innings is important because there's a lot of managers that keep the pitchers for the full innings, knowing that their relief pitchers have a lot more time to warm up because there's not pitching while their team is batting, if that makes sense. So 14.5 and 17.5 are important lines to look at. And that's actually the top two here. The only two ones that have over projections. I'm trying to see. And then it looks like all of these, everyone else is an under. Maybe we'll do the show. We'll do outs for the show, and if it doesn't work out, we'll never do outs again. Maybe we'll do that. The fact that Walker Buehler's facing the Chicago White Sox, like, I don't think. I mean, it looks like this is interesting, actually. It's interesting that he hasn't. So 16.5 means he needs to get 17, which means before he gets pulled, he needs 5.2 innings pitched. So he needs to go into the sixth inning. He needs to get the first two people, not the first two people, but he just needs to get 2 outs, which is 5 full innings plus 2 outs. And if he gets pulled before he gets his final out, he can still hit because he just needs 17 here. But everything is saying he's going to get pulled before he gets to 5.2 innings pitched. But the problem is that Chicago White Sox are such, I mean, they're better than last year because last year was the worst team in MLB history. And I know he's got only 1 out of 4 games he's hit that this year. But I don't think I ever want to go under against Chicago White Sox. Gavin Williams pitched 4 times this season. He pitched very deep into he had 20 outs in his game against Baltimore, but his first 3 games of the season all under 15.5. And what's very important as well when I'm talking about the whole inning stuff. So if 15 outs is 5 full innings pitched, and 15.5 means he needs to go into the 6th inning and record an out before getting pulled, you have to also consider the full innings thing that I'm explaining to you guys for unders as well. So for overs, the 14.5 because 15 is a full 5 innings, the 17.5 because 18 is a full 6 inning. Because 18 is a full 6 innings. Yeah, I said that right the first time. It didn't sound right coming out of my mouth. But on the opposite side for unders, you want like 18.5 because if they only get 18 and they get pulled before the 7th starts, then you hit. You want 15.5. You want that 0.5 on the other side because if Gavin goes 5 full innings and gets pulled before the 6th starts, then you hit. And that's what's showing here. Accuracy 70% from the AI through 17 games is pretty nice. You know what? I don't do these shows to like look for the 3. I know we've had a lot of shows recently where we've done 3 plays, and I think all but one of them have been a profitable show where we hit at least 2 out of 3. But I think that's where I'm leaning right now. So Gavin Williams under 15.5, so it means he needs to get pulled. So it doesn't mean you lose if Gavin Williams does not get pulled after 5 innings and he goes into the 6th inning, we can still hit as long as he gets pulled before recording 1 out in the 6th inning. So if he goes into the 6th inning and then Yankee bats light him up and he gets pulled before he records any outs in the 6th, that's still a hit. So it's not like you automatically lose just because he goes back out there. It's what he does when he goes back out there. So Gavin Williams under 15.5 is interesting. We'll look at the props comparison and see if we can find a better line on that in a second. I don't want to go under against Chicago White Sox. And the sportsbooks are favoring the over against Robbie Ray. Every time you see minus 105, that means the other side's more favored. So sportsbooks are favoring the over here for Robbie. And the overs we're looking at. So we have both pitchers in the New York-Cleveland game. We're going over Clark Schmidt, 14.5. And I know the difference is very low, but I think my theory of what I'm saying on the full inning side of things, because he just needs to get pulled after the 5th inning's over, I feel like that makes me more interested in this. Spencer, I don't think the St. Louis bats are going to beat him up. Let me actually look at something real quick here on Spencer. Okay, so if you haven't noticed, when you go to strikeouts, you have extra data here on the bars. So you see where it shows 8 full innings pitched on his Miami start. He went 8 innings. San Diego, 6 innings pitched. Only got 4 Ks, but 6 innings pitched, 8, 6, 4.2. Gave up 6 runs, 1 run, 0 runs. So this guy gave up 0 runs and still got pulled. 1 run and got pulled at 6. So maybe I'm not too interested in him. If he's getting pulled with 1 run, what we're going to be adding here in a second is, this week, we're going to be adding pitch count to this as well. So you're like, oh, he got pulled after 6 and he had 4 Ks and wasn't even giving up a run. But was he like at 120 pitches? So we're adding pitch count to this week. So keep your peepers popped on that stuff. So, man, he's getting pulled at 6 full innings, which is exactly what we need for him to hit. Which is essentially what AI is saying. AI is saying 18.06, which is essentially 18. So the AI is saying that he should not be pulled before 6 full innings pitched, which is what the manager has been letting him to do. He got shelled against Toronto, where I think it was 6 earned runs we saw. Okay, these differences aren't amazing. I understand that. They don't abide by the trifecta. But I think I want to try this. We're going to try this. This is 1 episode. You don't have to do anything I say, but if you are going to do it, you need to do it this way. So we're going Clark Schmidt over 14.5. Actually, hold on. Before I eat my words. Pitching outs. Looks like DraftKings is the only one that offers pitching outs right now. I guess FanDuel's pitching outs aren't up. What was the other game we were looking at? It's a 17.5. Pitching outs. Yeah. So the other that means the other sports books don't have pitching outs up yet for these games. So going back to what I was saying, Clark Schmidt over 14.5. Spencer, even though 38.9% accuracy is not the sexiest. St. Louis, let's go to runs. This is crazy to me. Chicago Cubs, they had that crazy game. The Chicago Cubs currently lead the MLB in average runs scored per game at 6.22. So St. Louis is 5th most at 4.95. But their last 3 games, they've only averaged 3, and their last game they got 4 runs. So they just had a lot of nice games starting out. But recently, I'm not too worried about it because it looks like they've cooled off with only an average of 3 runs per game the last 3 games. So this is showing us that they're cooling off. And then the Yankees, remember, Gavin Williams, we're going under, right? Yankees lead in the most runs scored, or are second in most runs scored per game. They've had some cool off here in 3.67 and 1. But their average per game is still higher than in the last 3 than St. Louis. If it sounds like I'm mumbling, I apologize. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. And then Cleveland is like top 10 in least amount of average runs per game, even though they scored 10 in their last game. That was an overtime game. That was a 10th inning game. I think so. Maybe this hasn't updated for yesterday's games. But anyway, I don't think... Oh, we're looking at strikeouts. What just happened? How did that go? I flipped this. Well, how do we get to strikeouts? I don't know what just happened. So we weren't even looking at the right thing. But I don't know if the runs on the team trends is the like see all be all of You know how with strikeouts we look at, okay, how many times have the opponent's batters struck out over the last, X amount of games. But I want to start kind of putting a little more time in other stats as well. So if we run into situations like today where we're pitching strikeouts just right off the bat, oh, there's nothing playable here, then you guys have a ton of other things you can copy and paste from the shows. So tomorrow, if I don't talk about outs and today's stuff worked out where we hit all 3 of them, then you know what to consider when you're pulling up outs on the app. Just do what I do today for other days in the future. But I think that's what we're doing. Clark Schmidt over 14.5, Spence over 17.5, and Gavin Williams of Cleveland under 15.5. Yeah, I think that's what we're going with, kids. Remember, if you never need any help, just ask. The help can be, how do I do this on the app? How do I do this in the Discord? What do I look for this? How do I do this? What's a good idea for bankroll management? Whatever it may be. There are answers to every question you could possibly have that are already kind of laid out. But if you ever need more help, just ask. And even if it's help with betting, if you think that you are you're worried about you having potential addictive tendencies where you're doing things you probably normally wouldn't do with a straight mindset, you're like, man, like I'm betting on things I should never bet on that the apps definitely says not to do. Reach out for that stuff as well. We got plenty of things that can help with that. There's never a reason not to ask for help. If you need help with anything in life, just ask. Good luck with everything today, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.